Welcome back to Case Closed Anime Review, episode 125. Yep, I finally reached this number, and it was not that long ago I reached this for Black Clover. Excuse me. Yes, so I did check and see there was a new chapter released. It probably was released for the manga for Case Closed, but the website normally uses it. Yeah, they didn't upload it for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it'll be there next week. But here we discuss the newest episode of the series, episode number 1014, the Novelist, called Demon King. Now, when I watched this episode just not that long ago, I was looking at okay, the episode opens up the same way we opened up the last one. Mori and Conan just walking along some road someplace. And just by sheer coincidence, they happen to come across a murder scene, a crime scene. I'm like, 2 episodes in a row. Why the heck would I do this for? Can't you just use a different opening? This time, okay, last time was shopping. This time it is, I kid you not, they had to hurry home because 3 o'clock is supposed to be his snack. And Conan's like, really? A snack at 3 o'clock? And they mentioned, some famous writers in this area, some of the famous novelists. And just by sheer coincidence, there's Maguire and Takagi. Just happen to walk in the crime scene. Also, one of those rare times when Maguire is not wearing his trench coat. Yes, this happens occasionally in the series. It sometimes happens in the canon stuff. Mostly, this happens in the anime original content. So, we actually kind of see the murder happen in this one, where, we see the writer, he gets shot, and then we come to work and see Conan. Wow, do we have to do this 2 episodes in a row? Like I said, yes. So, they see the writers there, and apparently 2 of his apprentices are there, and they call it in 2 more. So, there's 4 apprentices. And the woman in the group is actually the youngest at the age of 30. The guy with the very bushy sideburns is 38 years old. Yes, and here are your suspects for this case. You have Ayakin, who's 38, Dagawa, who's 30, you have Bito, who's 35, and Chezuki, who's 33. Though, when I saw him, I'm like, he looks a lot like the maid that Conan's run into a few times in the series. Why the heck did we use this character design for a guy? I have no idea. And why would Conan not point, hey, your name is familiar. I know a maid with the same name. Conan never pointed out to this guy at all. Nope. Of course, he looked kind of chunky, too. So, they show up the gun that was used, which apparently was a shotgun. Yes. Which when I think of shotgun, I think of basically an old line from, I think it was Phaelus' reviews, saying, I've got a shotgun. Which I find to be so hilarious every time I hear that line. Excuse me. Oh yeah, and it turns out that the writer actually owned this thing. I'm like, okay. So, yeah, they found this because they see it, and oh yeah, apparently it's kept in a gun cabinet in his bedroom, which I'm like, yeah, that's interesting, but this is a strange gun cabinet. I've seen gun cabinets. Usually they're kind of like those up in the display. Usually the ones I've seen, my brother-in-law, he's got a big one that's shaped like a freaking safe. Yes. And he does keep some guns in there. He keeps rifles. I believe he's a hunter, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. I have a couple uncles who are hunters as well, and my grandpa's got guns too. Mostly they're just rifles, and they use it for hunting. They don't hurt people at all. Yep. So, yeah, this thing was kept behind a wall, and they apparently say, oh yeah, he has a permit for this. They don't show it in the episode for some reason. And they give various alibis, and apparently the oldest has an alibi. The other 3 don't. And it's oh yeah, he's ruled out as a suspect because he's got an alibi. not really. The action book goes in it. So Conan decides to go pay visit to the house next door. Which thing is anybody over there? No, this place is unoccupied. Apparently, there's also construction going on, which apparently that was the reason why. And apparently, neighbors couldn't hear the gunshot because of all the construction going on. Why there's construction going on? They're probably building a house or something. Yes, there's even construction where I am right now. Like, I happen to know at least one road is actually two roads are having some construction going on them. And also in my area, for some reason, lots of houses are going up. Which some people are quite irritated about that. Even me too. Like, put a business there. Don't need to put a house there. Yep. So, and it turns out this novelist had a nickname, the Demon King. Oh, and the writer's name to a guy, and he was 55, which made him like how much older than the actual oldest? Like, let's see, 12 plus 5 makes him 17 years older than he is. So, like, that's interesting. And they also reveal what because of Demon King, because apparently he was a tyrant. Also, get this, during the last few years of his life, he apparently had his own assistants write all of his books. Yeah, seriously. During the last few years, they've been ghostwriters. They said they've been paid really well, but according to the Gawa, they didn't become his apprentice, just become ghostwriters. Okay, they want to become actual independent writers, like novelists. Each one of them had motive to basically kill him. And Conan, when he goes over next door, he goes, like he looks at them like, okay. So he figures out like he sends the cops to come over at noon tomorrow, the next day, and Maury is like wondering like, why are we going? We're like, come by tomorrow, and so apparently off screen, Conan decided to set up a mirror, a aluminum foil mirror next door, with the curtains open, and the shotgun taped on this stand. And this is actually something I actually have never seen before in an anime. I've never seen this technique. I've seen the whole sunlight thing. I've seen that before, but the way it's done here, I'm like, I've never seen this before for a murder. So apparently this thing is fired, and the reason why there's no fingerprints in the gun is because, get this, the sunlight was on the actual itself and fires off and it hits the author. Now, they also mentioned he actually ingests some sleeping pills. Yes. And it turns out the culprit who did it. And who did it? The one who's got an alibi. Yep, it was a guy. The reason? Excuse me, because they lied to him about helping make their debut, and the fact that he was a terrible person. Typical. Like, standard reason why a lot of the time these people get killed in the show. It's like, oh, the victim is actually a really terrible person. So, that was the reason why, and apparently off-screen got arrested. And then apparently Conan decided to poke fun of the serious premise by saying, oh yeah, someone else takes credit for someone else's work. And Conan pokes fun of that because he actually does all the work and Moore takes all the credit. And apparently next week's episode, we're going to have the return of the Detective Boys. And from the look of it, it looks like it's for them again. I'm like, writers, can't you please put Hybra in these episodes? I mean, you could put her a part of the group. Like, are you saving her for the fact she shows up in a canon episode later? So you decide not to include her here? Yeah. Not really sure why, but that's basically what it is. Also, it's not when the case is solved, it's basically because of, well, Conan via Mori. Mori via Conan. Also, the hint of this episode was curtains because they discovered there was actually blood there. And the curtains were closed after the murderer killed the person. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And I must say, I was hoping that I was get a chance to read the news chapter for Case Closed, but it's just not available on the website, like I said. Okay, so that's going to be it for pretty much videos today. So tomorrow, as of right now, there's other videos for news episodes of Eden Zero, My Hero Academia, One Piece, and Boruto, along with a news chapter for Black Clover. Yes, and hopefully also tomorrow we get to see new chapters for My Hero Academia and One Piece. Last week there were no new chapters for any manga last week, though I did review some chapters for Fire Force. Okay, see you in the next video tomorrow. Bye.